Hello, I would like to thank you all for welcoming me here to present to all of you today. Our mission for Goddard Public Schools is to educate all students for lifelong success. That is a very big job that no one can do alone. So I would like to be able to do that together with all of you. So I would now like to jump into some of the different best practices that we can put into place together to ensure that we fulfill our district's mission. One of those is to develop common language. So we as a board and a superintendent need to ensure that we're speaking the same language and that we have a common message for our constituents. If we don't do that, we could create mixed messages that in turn could cause confusion to those that we're addressing. Another best practice would be to make student-centered decisions. We together have a responsibility to ensure an equitable education for each student that comes through one of our building's doors. So we should be asking what is best for our students in every discussion that we have to lead us to the right decisions together. Mutual respect is another best practice. I understand that we may not always see eye to eye, but we can all agree on wanting what is best for our students. By respecting each other's views and listening to one another and considering all of those views, those all brought together will bring us to the best decisions that do prioritize our students. We can collaborate together. We'll need to be flexible as we go through many changes and have shared decision making, but being visible together in the district and in the community will allow others to see that we are collaborating together and we are a team, which is another best practice, being a team. Being a team means that we're there together to celebrate the successes of our district, and we're also there together to work through the trials. So, this might also include completing some professional development together or going on retreats, things like that to help strengthen us as a team. Some of those roles and the responsibilities between the superintendent and the board might need to be very specified so that we have clarity. Knowing and understanding those differences in our roles will provide that clarity. So, you all, as the board, govern and will help set our strategic plan, while I, as the superintendent, would manage the district and ensure that the implementation of policy is occurring. So, when it comes to cultivating those relationships with one another, stakeholder groups, personnel, families, community members, all these different groups of people, there's five main things that we could do in order to do that. The first one being that we could learn. We could learn about one another and we can learn from one another. We could also share what we know. All of our different viewpoints are critical in making these decisions around our district and what's best for it and our students. We all have different expertise and different experiences that we need to bring together. We can advocate. We can advocate for education with a shared message, a shared mission and vision at both the local and the state level. It's really important to also be able to build these relationships even at that state level because, as we know, legislation plays a huge part of what goes on in public education and at times can impact the decisions that we have to make or policies we may have to put in place. And we can also partner. Let's use those resources that each of us has and then bring them to the table and finally connect. We can get involved, we can be visible, we can be present. I will do my best to make sure that you all are invited to things within the district as well as those big celebratory moments that are happening throughout the day. All right, so another thing would be cultivating collaboration. So, when it comes to this, there are three different main groups that I think about. One being stakeholders. So, I would want to include community input on the development of our district's vision. I want to ensure that there is a diverse group of stakeholders present. It could include administrators, teachers, students, parents, businesses, government agencies, residents. Every single one of those groups plays a role in the success of our district and our community. Personnel, also listed those into our stakeholders. I want to ensure that we're tying every decision that we make back to our mission statement, and that staff and personnel are aware of that mission statement and understand our decisions that we're making and how those align together. And then, of course, our families and our community, we can cultivate that collaboration by being visible, attending meetings in the district, whether that's district meetings or just meetings happening in our community within our district, where some of these members will be present. So, as your superintendent, there are several things that I will do. One is I will have a clear vision for the district. I will implement actions and programs to achieve visions, goals, and objectives. I understand that my own leadership style, I understand what my own leadership style is, and I will be aware of our community's values and needs. And I'll reflect on those often because those change. And so we too will need to change in order to communicate my intent for success. I'll act as an instructional leader. I'll stay abreast of and advocate for best practices in order to maximize students' achievement while all supporting our staff within our buildings. I will communicate effectively. I will ensure that I communicate our needs and accomplishments in a variety of ways in order to reach all of our constituents. I'll practice good management. I'll direct other staff members to accomplish the goals of the district while monitoring the progress of that and evaluating that performance. I'll listen to community members. I'll solicit feedback and consider all viewpoints when making decisions in line with board policy. Just as I also mentioned, I think all of our viewpoints are also important to consider when making decisions. I will fulfill commitments and I will take risks. I'll work to reach visions, goals, and objectives that you all set. And I will remain flexible. I'll manage my duties and I will adapt as needed in the ever changing environment that is education. So, those are my references that I use throughout this presentation. And I just want to thank you all for taking the time to listen to me. And please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.